Phantom of the Megaplex, about a bunch of teenagers that work at a giant 26-screen movie theater. Top it all off with the assistant manager being 17-year-old Pete Riley. Yeah, that sounds like everything can go wrong, which is why I really like this movie. The movie introduces us to all the people that work at the movie theater. I like how each one has a unique personality about them. Even though we see what their names are, if you forget, you can remember the trait that makes them who they are. So we see everybody setting up for a big premiere that the Megaplex is going to have. We also see Pete's brother, sister, and mom. They all think he works too much, and he needs to enjoy life. All Pete cares about is money. He even says it right here.
Well, no disrespect, Mom, but I'm in it strictly for the cold, hard cash.
They make a good point. What kind of person employs a teenager to be an assistant manager to a Megaplex?
Senior manager, Sean McGibbon. He's freaking out.
Well, that sure does look like a guy who would do that. But I do have to give Pete credit. He is the man of the house since they don't have their dad with them, so he did have to grow up fast and learn responsibility. Plus, he works with all these weird people like Scary Terry. She always has to say something creepy.
Once I heard these kids were trying to push something like this, and it started rolling backwards, and it crushed them, and one kid got killed, and the other one's lost a bunch of fingers and toes and junk.
Imagine you said, you're gonna go make a sandwich, and then I'm all like, one time this kid got stuck in the peanut butter just because he didn't put enough peanut butter on his bread. That's the kind of stuff this girl says all the time. And this guy, Movie Mason, a guy who loves movies so much, he hangs out there because he thinks he works there. Weird? Maybe. Funny? Yes. This kid's voice is annoying. Every time he talks, I'm just like, shut up.
Working my fingers off here.
Time, man.
Whoa, folks, settle down. Look, everybody's gonna make it inside, all right? Eventually.
Sounds like he has an attitude problem. What's with this bully kid? This guy looks like such a stereotype. I think he's completely unnecessary for the movie. The fact that he has to have the token black guy behind him to look tougher? Sorry, you're not fooling anybody here. And all this just so he can be a threat to taking the girl Pete likes. He even has a scene where he talks about how much better he is.
My whole life, Donnie Hawley's been like some dark shadow. In school, sports, girls. If I want it, he wants it. He's the one who usually gets it.
Are you serious? You're an assistant manager of a giant Megaplex movie theater. He's just a generic nobody. Brush that off and move on. So the theater is packed, and they are all understaffed, so a bunch of crazy stuff has happened. Movie screens are going bad, the popcorn machine is breaking, and Sean, the manager, keeps missing. So that's when Brian says,
Megaplex strikes again!
yeah, him and Karen are there too to see a movie, but they get caught up in this whole phantom thing. They find Sean tied up and he says, it's Moving Mason. You know, it could be. I mean, he's always at the theater, so maybe he got bored and decided to cause everybody trouble. But he later explains that he loves movies so much and that it's not him. Meanwhile, Pete goes into a theater to address the screens not working. When he mentions he's the assistant manager, a random guy says,
What, do you want a medal?
why would he want one? Then later, when the mom calls the payphone because she was talking to Pete earlier on there, the same random guy picks up and answers,
City morgue.
she already called earlier. She knows it's the Megaplex. This guy's an idiot. But later, they spot the Phantom, so now Pete says they need to use the internet by using the power of being online to find the Phantom. So now the owner is at the Megaplex. He never gets Sean's name right. Sean always has to correct him because he gets his last name wrong every single time.
All preparations proceeding apace, McGreevy?
McGibbon.
All right, McCarthy.
McGibbon.
All the movie stars are there for the premiere. When they see it, a giant dinosaur inflates in the theater, making this the Phantom's big trick. Pete grabs a sword and jumps on the dragon and kills it. But the Phantom is still in the room, so Pete runs to him and they have a battle behind the movie screen. Whoa, it's like watching a movie or something. Then we find out it was Sean. What? All this just because he wasn't chosen to be a general manager? So he tied himself up earlier and did all that stuff when the owner Niedermeyer wasn't there, but he said he wanted to be noticed by him. Why would he do all that stuff? Tie himself up? Cause trouble? He wasn't even there. So Sean gets fired, Pete gets promoted, but declines because he wants to be with his girl and live a fun kid life, and everybody gets happy. So that's Phantom of the Megaplex. It's just an all-around fun movie and very funny to watch. If you like Disney Channel movies, you should definitely check it out. Disney Channel shows their original movies at 2:30 in the morning on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so this is bound to show up on there, especially during the Halloween time.
Tell this guy to cut with the